What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday. I'm gonna get right into this, guys. I've been trying to keep my videos somewhat shorter. I'm definitely a long-winded person. So yesterday, I'm officially under 5 grams of Kratom. I took 4.7 grams of Kratom yesterday, which is the equivalent of 7 capsules for the whole day. Completely skipping my morning dose. And I only took 1 capsule, which was about 20 minutes ago. Mixed that up in some grapefruit juice, shot it down, drinking a little bit of coffee right now just to, maybe get a little bit more of an effect from it. But so I've had less than a gram of Kratom today. And today I'm on track to have again. I'm probably going to keep it right there, and the reason why is I've been being pretty aggressive with my Kratom taper, especially this week, trying to make up for lost ground where I backslid a couple of times on the weekend, because I was expecting this Kratom taper process to not take me any more than about a month and a half tops. And I'm at about a month and a half right now, and I'm still, taking right about 4 to 5 grams of Kratom. So it's kind of trying to expedite the process. I went really aggressive this week. Everything was going really well until last night. I gotta admit, I did not sleep that well last night. Again, I've been cutting myself down, by 1 capsule each day. You're really not supposed to do it that way. If you want to, completely be, if you want to completely be absent of the withdrawals, you have to give your body 3-4 days in between cutting down those dosages to kind of give your body a chance and your chemicals a chance to readjust to the new amount, the new lower amount. And then from there, you can cut it down again. This week, I've not been doing that. I've been cutting it down every day, and just taking kava at night to help me sleep. That went pretty well until last night. I did not sleep that well last night. Again, I am down to the bare bones at this point. 4 grams of Kratom per day is not very much, especially for somebody who was at one time taking 2-3 MIT extracts per day. So I'm probably taking perhaps 1/50th or 1/100th the amount of Kratom that I was taking 2 months ago. Considering all that, I'm actually doing really well. My daytimes are for sure beginning to kind of level out. My mood is, starting to kind of level out a little bit. But, because for the last 3 days, I haven't been taking any Kratom in the morning at all. And I've also not been taking very much, at my lunchtime dose as well. I only took 2 capsules yesterday. Today I only took 1. So I've, steadily been chopping it down. I'm getting to the point now where this is starting to level out a little bit. It's like I said to you guys, it does get better. Now I have had moments where I've done this probably 3 times already today. Run into the bathroom, got into the stall, and just jump squat. I make sure nobody's in the bathroom when I do it, so they don't hear my feet hitting the floor in the bathroom. Like, what the hell is this guy doing in the stall? So I make sure no one's in there before I do it. But I have done that probably 3 times today just to kind of give myself a little, dopamine boost. And it really honestly does help. Doing little activities like that kind of help you to just get some natural energy. And I will say, I want to say this real quick. If you're tapering or coming off of Kratom, be careful about the caffeine, because I think that was part of my problem yesterday. And I am bad about when I'm coming off of something like Kratom. Your energy is low, your mood tends to be kind of low. So, I'm sure a lot of you do the same thing. You kind of tend to replace that with something like caffeine. I've definitely been drinking a little more caffeine throughout this process than I was when I was fully, taking a full amount of Kratom. So, and I think that could have had somewhat to do with, why I didn't sleep all of that well last night. And you know, the sleep, even with taking the kava, the sleep was just kind of restless. I mean, it took me a good while to even doze off. Again, I drank probably 2 cups of coffee, you know, around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Normally that doesn't really bother me too bad, but, you know, considering the lower amount of kratom that I'm taking at this point, I'm not surprised that's happening. And again, under 5 grams of kratom, you know, it's getting down to the wire now. You know, I'm on that last, I'm starting to round third base and heading home at this point. And you know, 4 grams and some change of kratom is just not a lot for someone who's been a regular user for, you know, what, probably going on 4 years now. So it's still going well, but you know, just keep that in mind. You know, that when you're coming off, try to do your best to get natural boost of dopamine. And coffee, you know, being a stimulant, it may help you some throughout the day, but you know, just be careful that it doesn't wreak havoc at night on your sleep, because sleep is one of the biggest parts of kratom withdrawal, being that you can't sleep. And I think that's probably for everyone, probably the worst part of any sort of physical withdrawals, is just not being able to get comfortable and rest easily at night. Haven't really had any issues with my stomach at this point, you know, no loose bowels or anything like that. And again, I think that just has to do with that my body's finally starting to readjust to taking a much smaller amount. And if you're taking a small amount of an opiate or something like kratom, you know, it doesn't tend to affect your digestive system and your bowels as much as if you were consuming a very large amount, you know, 15, 20, 30 grams per day, like a lot of heavy users are. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to Sean J. I believe it's Sean J. I know it's Sean. Thanks for your comment, dude. Hey, I'm pulling for you. If this channel continues to grow, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to give shout outs to my people. You know, I've only got a small handful of people right now that are really watching and commenting on my videos daily, which I'm really appreciative of that. But while the channel is, you know, still kind of small like it is, I like to be able to have these personal interactions with Sean. You got it. He left a message yesterday and was saying that, you know, my videos had kind of convinced him that it was time for him to quit this shit and to go ahead and make a good try of coming off of the kratom and tapering. And let's go, man. You got this. Be patient with yourself. It is hard. It is difficult. You can do it. I know you can do it. And you know, I'm here to support you. This channel's here to support you. Any subscribers that are watching these videos on a regular basis, they're here to support you. We're a supportive family community here. You know, a lot of times as a drug addict, you don't really have a family that you can talk to, because a lot of times family members, especially if they've never struggled with some sort of drug addiction, they don't understand. They don't understand where you're coming from. And plus, you know, in family, sometimes emotions just tend to be so high and so closely intertwined and tied up with one another. It's hard to talk about stuff like that with your families sometimes. So sometimes you need a little outside support, you know, someone that you can just, that just kind of knows what you're going through and gets it. And I'm one of those guys. All of the other listeners and subscribers to this channel, we're those people. So, you know, if you need support when it gets difficult, drop a comment, you know, reach out to me, and we'll try to keep you on the straight and narrow. All right, one thing I want to talk about a little bit quick. I got about 6 minutes, and I'm telling you, at 15 minutes, I'm cutting it off, so I'm going to be done by then. I wanted to talk about, and I've mentioned this before, how regular kratom use can wreak havoc on your sex drive. All right, now, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this. I definitely have. And, you know, I remember back in the day, I used to take Adderall for ADHD that I actually probably didn't have, but I purposely bombed the test so that this doctor, this neurologist, would give me Adderall. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But when I was taking Adderall, you know, that being a stimulant, it caused you to kind of hyper focus on And I don't know if Adderall actually increased testosterone. It could have just been the age I was at the time. You know, I was mid-30s when I was doing this, so my testosterone was still, you know, pretty high. My testosterone in my 20s was through the freaking roof, man. You talking about a guy who liked women and liked some sex. That was me. So when I was on Adderall, it's one of those things I kind of tended to hyper focus on, sex, that is. And one thing I definitely noticed after being on Kratom for a while, especially once the dosage began to exceed, you know, let's say 9-10 grams per day, and you've been doing that for months, especially years, you literally get to the point where your sex drive is just completely absent. I'm not even going to lie about that. Now, you know, if it's one of those things where my wife and I have a sexual encounter, we make love or whatever, I still enjoy it. You know, I still can get an erection, you know, can still please her. I'm still pleased by it. It's enjoyable once I get into it, but I'm talking about the libido aspect of it. Meaning, you're just sitting there, you know, doing X, Y, Z or working on something, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm feeling kind of horny. That feeling. You know, I used to have that feeling all the time. It didn't, I mean, the wind could blow by me in a just special sort of way, and I was like, oh, you know. And that feeling of just all of a sudden, I'm horny. You know, I'm aroused. I would like to have sex. I would like to sexually gratify myself. You know, that sort of thing. If you've been taking Kratom for a while, you might have noticed that really has begun to deplete to the point where you just literally don't even, you just don't even get horny anymore. And I definitely have been there, and I can tell you that, you know, that closeness and that passion that you feel when, you know, making love to your wife or that person who's special to you, that is a very important part of human relationships. And you know, that's something that I'm really looking forward to as I come off of the Kratom, and I've already started to see, I've already started to have some moments. And I'm a 46-year-old guy. I'm pushing 50, so I'm not going to be, you know, my testosterone at this point is not going to be through the roof anyway. But I'm saying since I've been on Kratom, it's been significantly repressed. And I've noticed now that I'm down to, you know, 4 grams and some change per day, I've started to have moments where I kind of started having that feeling again, like, yeah, you know, wouldn't mind, you know, started thinking about sex a little more, you know, thinking about wanting to be with my wife in that way, that sort of thing. And that's a good feeling. And so if you have noticed that being on Kratom for an extended period of time has caused your sex drive to plummet, it's not your imagination. It actually does affect free testosterone in not just men, but you know, it affects women's libido as well. So that is a real thing, and that is another reason to get yourself off of the Kratom and, you know, get back to a point where all of your bodily and sexual functions are firing the way that they should. Because you don't want to be an emotionless zombie, you know, and it's one of those things where after taking Kratom for a while, it really does get you to that point. It really does get you to the point where you're just like, well, if I don't have the Kratom, I don't feel much. And when you're on the Kratom, you might feel good, you might feel high, but certain things that are like natural functions of humans, like getting aroused and getting horny and, you know, wanting to have sex, you don't even want those things anymore. And, you know, is that really being human? You know, not at all. So that's just another reason. Get yourself off the Kratom, taper. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I'll be glad to do a video about it if you guys have a specific question about it. Until that time, you know, exercise, taper, cut down by about 1 gram every 3 or 4 days, take vitamins, eat healthy, lots of fruits and vegetables and fibrous items to your diet. Drink tons of water, and just be patient with yourself. You got this. And this is Corey, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you next time around. All right, peace.